Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to talk about XAUUSD, which is also known as gold. And I make these videos because I want you to become profitable. If you don't know who I am, my name is LaKiesha. So let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So as usual, we are going to start our analysis on the weekly time frame. But before we do that, I'm going to remove all of my drawings just because I did take some trades this week. So let's look at what is happening up here. So we can see this is the candle from the past week, and this candle closed bearish. So this lets me know that there's a high probability that price will try to correct this move right here, maybe stopping somewhere in here. But of course, we don't know what could possibly happen. We can only plan. And mainly because the previous week also closed bearish. And as you can see, this candle closed bearish. So it's kind of on a short-term downtrend, even though the overall trend is buys. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And then let's go down to the daily time frame where we could start drawing out some of our levels. So if we take a look at what we just talked about, but there's some more information here. We can see that, yeah, price was doing some bearish activity in the prior week, but if we look at the daily, we do see all of these rejections right here, and then we also see a little bit of consolidation on the daily time frame from last week as well. So this lets me know that maybe I should draw a level above this first consolidation level. So right above here, and then also draw another level, maybe right about there, and then possibly another level, maybe not on the daily time frame because it's looking a little crowded, but about there. So let me zoom in a little bit just because it is getting a little hard to see. Okay, great. So the main thing that I'm looking at here is I'm looking at this resistance level right here around 23.94, and then I'm also noticing some really strong supports that are forming around the 23 kind of 40 level. But as you can see over here, right here, we have quite a few supports that have formed, but then we also have this resistance that forms. So when I'm doing my analysis, I'm always prioritizing the price action that happened the most or in the most recent time frame. So in this case, this happened before this. So I'm going to actually put my level right here at resistance on the daily time frame. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And then I did want to have one there, but probably not on the daily time frame just because we could probably do better on the lower time frames. So let's go ahead and draw this level right here. Okay, that's looking good. And then I actually want to make this a little bit thinner on a daily time frame because we're going to be moving it around as we go down in time frames. All right, so this looks great to me. I'll probably get rid of this alert. That was probably for something else that I was looking for this past week. All right. So here we are on the H4 time frame, and let me scoot this over and adjust my charts so we can get a better view of what's happening with price. So starting at the top, one thing I do want to change is I do want to make this level a little bit thinner, mainly because I'm seeing all of these rejections right here. So I'm talking about a rejection right here. That's the most recent. We have this rejection candle that closed down here. We have a rejection here that formed a gap. And then we also have rejections here. So all of these candles close below this level. So that's kind of like the line of best fit for me on this level. So doing the same thing down here, I think I also want to make this a little bit thinner. Let me see, on the H4 time frame. So once again, we have this area all over here where it formed a lot of different supports. And I want to actually prioritize a resistance kind of zone over here. So as you can see, I put my resistance bar here mainly because it is the most recent resistance around this level. And basically we have this really clean price action, all sells down here. And I remember taking a trade in this zone on Monday. Didn't catch this entire move. I did catch a piece of the move, so that's cool, but it would have been nice to catch this entire thing. Price just jumped around too much for me, and I took my profit and I ran. So this nice move here, then price came up and then formed a little resistance here. So I may want to mark that off, maybe not on the H4 time frame, but maybe if we go down on the lower time frames, we can see if there's a nice setup there. And as you can see, there's a lot of consolidation and a lot of choppiness in this area. So we can see some support or a support that formed here. We see a rejection here. And basically what happened is price broke this level, came up, this was the retest, and then it sold off. So this level is looking even better to me based on this information that has happened in the past. So I'm going to keep that level. And then too, another thing I want to point out is that since price is right here and really close to this support level right here, I may want to draw another level somewhere down here just in case price comes down. I want to be able to have a plan for if price goes down even lower. So let's go ahead and take this line right here and just copy it. And then I want to set it right here around 22.35. That's going to be a really nice area to possibly take a trade from. And we're going to talk about my trading plan at the end of this video. So this is looking good. Actually, I do want to move this right here, mainly because I want these two candles to touch this level. Looking to the left, this is looking good. Price broke down and then came back up. And then we do have this kind of rejection here, but of course I like to prioritize the most recent price activity. So we're going to mark that, and then we got a rejection. So that is looking really good to me. So let's go ahead and go down to H3. And this may look very similar to H4, but we still want to look anyway. So the only thing I'm going to do is just move this level up, just basically to capture this rejection here and then this resistance here. Other than that, it looks good. I may want to actually put a level here. So you can put a box or a line or whatever. I just prefer to do a line right here. I may have to make some adjustments. And I'm putting this line here mainly because this formed a resistance. It came up and then it came right back down. But this is telling me that this is a really strong rejection or reaction level around 24, 26, 25. We could get a lot more refinement at this level on the lower time frame, but I at least want to mark it off right now. And you can put a box here, it's totally fine. I just wanted to put a line because it's not one of my key levels, but it is an interesting level. So this is still looking good to me. I'm just gonna shift that down just a little bit. And then if you look left, we got these rejections and support. So it lines up perfectly. And let me move this over. So this is still looking good, although I do want to move it in just because as we go down, we do get more data. So I'm going to move this line actually up. So that way, right here, we get the support and then we got the other support before price bounced up. So this is still looking good. This level that I just created on the other time frame, we're going to put this support right there. Okay, this is looking pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead and go down to the H2 time frame, and we can see that our resistance level is still looking good. Resistance is still looking good. A lot of craziness over here, but we're just going to focus on this right here. Looks great. We did see price come down and then come back up, so that's still nice. We may adjust that on H1. Okay, that's looking good. That's looking good. Okay, cool. This is looking really clean so far on gold. All right, so let me zoom in a bit. Okay, cool. So I thought I was going to have to make an adjustment on H1 for this level, but it looks like I don't have to. This is still looking quite good to me, although I may want to move this down a little bit closer just so that way this resistance, this bullish and this bearish candle together that forms a resistance, it's touching that. I just like for my candles to touch my key levels. Alrighty, okay, so right here, I'm just gonna move this up just a little bit, once again for the same reason. If we zoom in a bit, okay, I want my resistance level, the bullish and the bearish candle together to touch this level, and then this is also touching, so that looks good to me. And then I'm just gonna scoot over, we got these rejections here. Oh, and then we got these rejections here. This was a really big rejection. Wow, that is insane. All right, definite buys on that. So, okay, great. Okay, so that's that consolidation area. We're not gonna pay too much attention to that because that happened about a month ago at this point. So let me zoom in. All right, great. All right, so this level. So one thing I did notice was these candles kind of in consolidation, but kind of hovering at my level. We also have these rejections that also look good. So I may want to actually make my level a little bit thinner. So let me scoot over. Yeah, I'm gonna make it a little bit thinner. So just so that it's a little bit neater. All right, cool. So I'm going to place this level right here where this support level formed. And then we still got the touches from these two candles, these two rejections here. We do have rejection right here, but there's a bit of a gap. And when it comes to charting out things over time, you're going to notice that things touch, things gap, sometimes things overlap. Like here's an example of overlap. And it's just, you're just basically just finding the line of best fit. And that's pretty much it as far as my charting goes. So let me go ahead and reset, and then let me talk about my trading plan for this upcoming week. Because gold is one of those things that I do trade quite a bit. Let me just zoom in a bit. Okay, so on the H1 time frame, I am seeing some minor resistance levels. So let me zoom in so I can show you what I'm talking about. So here is where price is right now. And price has been in a consolidation. And I remember seeing this yesterday, which was a Friday, mainly because I was looking for opportunities to trade, but there was just no good trading opportunity. So we got this really big candle right here where price came up and rejected. And this was during NFP, which is non-farm payrolls, which is a very high volume, high volatile news reporting event. And market can do basically anything. So I typically stay out just because in the past I've tried to trade it and most of the times it does not work out. There's like that one or two times where it may actually work out and it's good. I remember one time with NFP making 20% of my account gain in just one trade, which was insane, but that was, a one-time thing. So anyway, so we got this really big candle, and then we got this bullish candle that rejected, and then we got this bearish candle right here that came all the way down here and then end up closing above support. So what I'll be looking for, I'm going to use lines now. I'm seeing this rejection level right here because basically there was no candle that was able to, at least on the 30-minute time frame, no candle that was able to close up above this level of 2308, so roughly 2300, which is a nice psychological level. And if you've watched these type of videos before, you notice that I do talk about psychological levels. I do pay attention to them, but I don't make trading decisions based off of them. So it's just good to really know about that. So anyway, so let's take this and copy it because likewise, I am seeing a support. And I'm going to actually draw my support so that way it favors this little support here. And this, for me, is essentially a no trade zone. So say, for instance, if I was to go down maybe on lower time frames, and I typically don't like to do that in this video just because I use those lower time frames. I use this time frame and lower time frames to make entry decisions, but I'm basing everything off of these higher time frames that I'm showing you here in this video. So essentially, this wouldn't be an area that I would like to trade, but I would like to take a trade if price closed up above here, either on the H1, maybe 30, maybe the 15, sometimes the 5, but that could be a little bit risky. It just depends on how it looks in that moment. But typically, it'll be one of these higher confirmation time frames like this time frame or some other. And so I would basically want to take buys above here. And then theoretically, I could take sells below here, but there's not enough range for me in order to take the trade. So I would only want to take a trade if price closed on one of my preferred time frames, if the candle closed below this level. And what is this? This is about 2285 or 82. So this is a nice level, especially because we got some rejections here and we got a support that formed here. So I would only want to take sells below that. And then let me go back up to my daily time frame just to kind of look at the trend. So the overall trend is bullish. However, we are in a short-term downtrend. So unless price continues, or unless price trades up above this level at maybe 2320, or even safer 23.43, I would be looking for sells because there's a probability for a price to come down even further. Now, if we're looking at the daily time frame a little bit more closely, we can see that this candle on Friday for the day closed bearish. But it also closed above the support. So, you could kind of like, talk yourself either way or the other. Basically, I like to follow the trend. But like I said, if price is not closing up above 23.20, then I'm not looking for a buy necessarily yet, unless there's some price action that happens Sunday night or into Monday morning where it gives me a different signal for buys, then I'm mostly looking for sells. So let's go back to the H1 time frame. All right, great. So yes, and then too, we can look at market structure as well on the H1 time frame is bearish. So this is our lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then we do have some lows here, but we don't have anything that closed below there yet. But if something does, then also more confirmation for sales. So that's basically what I'm looking for. And when it comes to buys, let's go back to that scenario. On H1, okay, great. Oops, I used the wrong thing. So I would be looking for buys, and I talked about this before, 23.20 kind of zone. And as we can see on H1, we're getting a little bit more detail. So this is an area I would look for buys up into. So from this level all the way up to here. And then if we get another candle confirmation or something, then we could actually see price go up to here. Because if we look left, we can see that this was a strong area where price came to, sold off, came to, sold off, came to, sold off. So, that could be, an idea. But like I said, it's much safer to look for buys actually above this level. And then this would be kind of the height of that area right there. Oh, wow, 23.50. Nice psychological number. But even more so, actually, let me draw it up here, even more so up above here, because then it's just really clean range, meaning really strong bearish candles coming down. And this could be a really nice trade up through here. So actually, let me draw that out. Sometimes I do like to put arrows on my chart, so that way I know what my game plan is. So, all right, great. Let me save that so I don't lose my work, because that has happened before. All right. Okay, that's looking good. So as far as a selling standpoint, let's go all the way over here where I drew this additional line. Like I said, if price was to come below this level right here at 22.82, then I would like to sell all the way down here. And there is a possibility that price could go even lower. Let me go to a higher time frame, maybe like H2, H3. And just see what that could look like. Just to give a little bit more context of things that could pop up. There are literally infinite scenarios, but I'm just looking at the things that I would be focused on in the market. So actually not one of these, but I do like this level right here because we have a previous resistance and coming all the way down here. That would be nice right there. So then let me get my arrow. Do it like this. Okay, great. That looks amazing. Okay, awesome. So and then to maybe a stronger level right here, mainly because to the to the left, I can see some strong support in this zone, in this 21.48, 21.50 area. I could see some really strong support that is formed. All right, great. And then I'm just going to shift it down. Actually, that's actually about good. Just make it a little thinner. Okay, great. So yeah, so we got price tapped into here, bounced up, and then it tried to come down, couldn't quite make it, and then it came up. So that will be another level, and then a minor level. Actually, you know what? I think it will look, even though that number is nice, I think it will look better right here because we have more touches here. We have 1, 2, 3, then a break and a break, 4, 5, 6. So it actually looks better at 21.53 to me on the H1 time frame. That actually looks better because before we just had the one touch and now we have so many other touches. So that is cool. And then we have a bunch of consolidation here. It's a little bit hard to figure out what's a good level. at these consolidation zones. So I kind of like to look for a previous resistance and a support. So we have a resistance right here, and we also have support in here. So this could be another level as well. Scoot all the way over. All right, cool. So this is my trading plan for this upcoming week. And if you're interested in what I'm looking at for GJ, then go ahead and watch the next video after this, and I will see you next time. Bye.